Hello, everyone. I actually was thinking, and I wanted to do a short video about spiritual warfare and understanding the battleground with regard to spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare is such a broad topic that it would be very hard to cover in just one video, and I wouldn't want to make a video that is that long. But I've learned a lot over time, and I'd like to share some of it with you, just in case anyone is wondering about certain aspects of spiritual warfare. So I want to do. I hope it won't be long. I did write down some notes, so I will be looking down at the notes. And this particular segment that I wanted to do would be called Understanding the Battleground. The first thing that we definitely need to do is understand that we are in a war. Whether we are waging the attack ourselves or whether we are defending ourselves against an attack, there are consequences when in war, regardless of whether the war is natural or spiritual, where in this instance, the war is spiritual. So we have to understand that there will be consequences. Spirits are not going to just let us come up against their territory or try to take something away from them that they feel that they own and not do anything about it. So we have to take it seriously and understand, first of all, that it is war. Next, I like to say definitely we need to be consistent in prayer. We need to have a consistent prayer life, because the one thing about spirits are consistent. Spirits are consistent in their actions, and the only way to fight a spirit that is consistent is in their actions, is for us to be consistent as well. We can't pray today and stop praying for the next 5 days. We definitely need to be perpetual in prayer and make sure that we're praying every day. We probably, if we can, make sure that we're doing it at a certain time of day so that we are more effective in what we are doing. And I really don't want to get deep into that, but the times that we do things and how long we do things definitely does matter. And I'll probably cover that in subsequent videos. Um, we also in order for us to be effective, we need to surrender all of our weaknesses to God. If we have any unsurrendered weakness, anything that we are dealing with, we need to surrender that to God and let Him take control over that, because anything that we have in ourselves and our spirit that is not surrendered to God, it becomes a target for the enemy, and whatever spirit we're going against, for them to go in and to come out and to use that part of us against us to defeat us. So any weakness that we have, we definitely need to surrender it to God so that it's not a target for anything that's coming up against us. Because remember, as I said before, this is all out war. We have to take this seriously as if we are in a physical war. We definitely need to make fasting a part of our regimen. It is important, since it is a spiritual war, it is important that we deal with the elements of the spirit being sensitive. And the only way to sensitize the spirit is to bring the flesh under subjection by way of fasting. And this will make us sensitive to the spiritual realm, because after a while, once the flesh has been brought under subjection, the spirit gets strong and the spirit starts to take over, which is a deeper subject, which I will cover. But we definitely need to make fasting part of our regimen if we are going to seriously engage in spiritual warfare. I've encountered so many things over the years. I've tried to run away from this. I never wanted to get involved in spiritual warfare, but it's always come to me. So I figured the things that I learned, I would share with you. We need to understand that everything that we pick up in the spiritual realm is not necessarily God revealing to us that something's going to happen. And I learned this the hard way. You can, if you're spiritually sensitive, if you're praying a lot, if you're gifted in that realm, if God uses you a lot in that realm, that's just something that you were born with, where you're sensitive to things that are going on around you that other people can't see. We have to take note that everything that we pick up in the spiritual realm is not necessarily God speaking to us, and it is not necessarily God telling us that He is going to move or do something. And that's where a lot of people make a mistake. They pick up something in the spiritual realm and they think that it's God. And sometimes they will stop praying because they think that God answered a prayer, but it's not. The enemy is very tricky. The spiritual realm is very tricky. It is not simple to understand. Because of the dual nature of man, we are able to sense things that come to us in from the spiritual realm. So because we have a body and we have a spirit, we're able to pick up things. We can see things in the natural, and if we spend enough time in prayer, we can pick up things in the spiritual. And there are some of us who don't even pray, but because we have that dual nature, we can just some people say they don't feel that things are right, and that's what they're picking up, something that is happening in the spiritual realm that may be coming their way. Like you have a mother who doesn't feel right, they feel that something is going on with their child. That is because they're picking up something in the spiritual realm. We need to, however, when we pick up something, we need to pray on it. Definitely pray on it. Don't move on it right away, because moving on it right away could mean infinite demise for us, or it could mean us failing at what we are attempting to do. And then a lot of times, and I've done this, I've thought that stuff was God and it wasn't, and I had to understand that because of the dual nature of man, we're able to pick up things, and it wasn't necessarily God talking to me. It wasn't. I saw certain things to come, and I thought that it was God showing me, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But no, it was just me being able to pick up what was going to happen because of the time that I spent in prayer, because of my relationship with God. God allowed me to see what was going to happen, but what was going to happen was not necessarily His will. And instead of me just praying on it and waiting on God, I went ahead and I moved thinking that it was God's will, and it was not. And I got upset with God because I said, God, I thought this was you. I prayed and I prayed, and I got this, and I thought this was you, and it was because I was not still. I moved too quickly. We definitely need to, as I said, pray on every situation. Don't just get up and move right away because you think it's God. Um, and the one thing I've learned is that when we're compelled to do stuff, usually when we are compelled to do stuff with a seemingly uncontrollable urge, it just feels like we just have to do this thing. Um, in my experience, this is not God. An uncontrollable urge is usually not God, and I have learned that the hard way. Um, it's sort of like it's an evil influence, and what it does is it takes over you, and it takes over your emotions. The spiritual warfare is no joke. It takes over, and sometimes you don't even have to be in spiritual warfare in order be engaging, excuse me, in spiritual warfare in order for this to happen to you. You can just experience it on a day-to-day basis for any number of reasons. But within spiritual warfare, I wanted to bring this out as a point because sometimes when we're fighting against the enemy, he understands what we know and what we don't know, and he plays on our ignorance. And sometimes we can feel an unction, and we understand that unction to be God. We say, oh, this is definitely God, because we felt the strong movement. So we said, this must be God moving us. But when it's an uncontrollable urge, it's usually not God. Usually what that spirit will do will give you an uncontrollable urge to do something, like you just have to do it. And then once you do it, it lets you go. And that's how you know it's not God. Because once you do that thing, it lets you go. And then you kind of backtrack and think, what did I do? But after you've done the thing, it's too late. And I'm sorry, I had some things that I wrote down. I just wanted to make sure I'm getting to everything. Um, and there was another one thing that I wanted, and what I said about the spirits, that's a whole deeper issue when I can definitely delve into that more. I can get deeper into that, but I won't right now, because I wanted to just give a few tips on understanding the battleground. And there's one thing I wanted to share with you guys also, is I noticed sometimes you can wake up with like an uncontrollable, or you can wake up with something on your mind. I found that most of the time when you wake up like that with something on your mind, that is not God either. That is not God. That is a spirit that was waiting to attack you, and it waited until you got up. Um, I'll give you an example. So if I'm sleeping, and as soon as I open my eyes, I'm thinking about um, something someone did to me. And the first thing, and I'm thinking about something they did to me, and it may have been yesterday, it may have been 2 years ago, but I'm thinking about something someone did to me. And it just has me paralyzed to the point where I'm in analytical thought as soon as I wake up over what this person did. And I'm analyzing the whole thing that they did. And usually it's a spirit of accusation. And we know that the enemy is the accuser of the brethren. So it's a spirit of accusation. So what that spirit is doing is that spirit is saying, like, don't you know this person did this and this person, and you will think it's your thoughts, because I mean, it makes sense that you're thinking about something. But most of the time, I would say 9.5 times out of 10, if you wake up with something on your mind, I mean, when you wake up, sometimes you can wake up angry, and you don't know. I've done that. I've gotten up until I learned what it was. I've gotten up and my heart was beating fast, and I just woke up angry, and I woke up to a thought, and I woke up to thinking about how someone wronged me, or how I should have taken this action and gotten someone back instead of staying quiet. And that spirit will it will justify you being upset with this person and not talking to this person. And I found that that is not God. It's not God. It's a certain spirit of division that wants to separate you from that person, or it's a spirit of, I don't know, I want to say it's a fighting spirit. I can't think of the word right now, but it's definitely trying to cause division, spirit of division, trying to cause division between you and that person. And something like this can happen if you are someone who is married, and you're engaged in spiritual warfare with regard to your spouse, and you can just like wake up so upset and angry at something that they've done. You've been praying to God, and you've been praying, and you've been praying, and you've been praying, and you feel like you're making headway, and then just one day you wake up and you're just so upset at this person that you don't want to pray anymore, because there's something that they did that justifies you being upset, and that justifies you just leaving them and not staying there, not taking the time to make things better. And that spiritual warfare, it's the enemy's job to get us off of the battleground. It's his job to get us to stop praying, to get us to stop fighting. That's his job. that's all I will say for this video, but I definitely will be back for more because there's so many things I want to share with you. But I will say bye for now. Everybody have a great day or a great night. Bye.